to go out here in society and deal with a police force who feel like I done brought them some harm. So now I'm a target. So, and in my mind, you know, I'd already accepted that I wasn't going to get an opportunity to, you know, work at a decent job and make a decent livelihood because, you know, I got altercation with law enforcement.
Well, you have a literal target on your back at that point.
Yes. So,
yeah. It didn't matter what you did. They were just trying to fuck you no matter what.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's what ultimately happened. You know what I'm saying? That ultimately happened, which I wind up, as time went on, getting shot by the police. Police shot me. And
How many times?
They shot me once.
Damn.
Yeah. And you know, every time I got pulled over by the police, it would be, I say, 5 to 10 police cars pulling up. You know, because it had in my charge, when they called my name in, homicide on a police officer. So that's what was coming back. So it was like, this is the type of person that y'all done apprehended, that y'all done nabbed. You know, whenever I get pulled over, I remember one time I was in Kentucky and I was coming from a concert and, you know, going over the speed limit a little bit, you know, so wind up getting pulled over by, it was either a state trooper or a Kentucky, you know, regular police officer. So when they pulled me over, you know, I know I ain't got nothing, I'm not dirty. So they like, you mind we search your car? I'm like, nah, you can't search my car. You know what I'm saying? They like, well, we'll just wait for a warrant. We'll go to the judge's house and get a warrant, and you'll just have to sit. So I'm sitting on the side of the interstate to the point where I was like, shh, man, I know I ain't got it. I'm not gonna be sitting in this cold.
Yeah.
Look, man, you can search the car. So he wind up searching. He was like, all right, just go sit in the car. You know what I'm saying? So I go sit in his car while he's searching. Then he come back and sit in the car. And he was like, what in the hell made you shoot down the goddamn police helicopter? This was his response to me. And he just started, you know, he laughed, but he was like, you know, but this what came back through dispatch. So, you know, that's what I wind up, you know, like I say, it was a blessing and a curse from that. And, you know, ultimately I wind up being sentenced to life in prison because I wind up getting caught up in a drug conspiracy with some people out of California, some people I didn't know. And a guy from Indianapolis, who I purchased a car from, was doing business with them, and through that he wound up getting caught with like 36 kilos of cocaine. And at the time he got caught with 36 kilos of cocaine, I was incarcerated from when the police shot me.
Ah, okay.
So when the police shot me, they violated me for shooting down the helicopter, you know what I'm saying? So I'm CCA looking at it on the news because this particular individual, I left him my cars. For one, he couldn't give me a straight title on the car that I purchased from him. And then another car that I had, I just told him to hold it while I go do, you know what I'm saying? Because I think I had like to do like a year to flatten the probation that I had.
Okay.
So while I'm doing the time, I see him, you know what I'm saying, on TV. So they wind up catching him. But he had done numerous interviews, and my name that never came up. And this is what I found out through his profit statements, that he didn't mention me initially until when they went and searched his house, the police, and they saw my cars. And when they saw my cars, they were like, we don't care nothing about nobody else. What you know about him?
Yeah, because you got that, and all that, what you know about him stems from simply you shot down a police officer.
Absolutely.
Not simply, but you know what I'm saying. Right, yeah, and that's like, I think, god damn, bro. So you got off with that, if you will, and then you got in a couple bids of trouble, but the reality of it is the curse of that is what you're saying was it just chased you until a life sentence eventually occurred, right? So you get caught with his drugs, or not really with the drugs at all. You're in jail.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So how does that approach kind of happen when you're already in jail?
Yes. So while I was in jail, see with the feds, they got a thing where they call, where they have you under investigation, and then they got a thing where they call conspiracy. And the thing about a conspiracy has a 5-year limitation. So whenever the time starts, wherever the confidential informant or whoever says this is when the case started, when I initially came to Nashville, and that's when the conspiracy started. So from that time, which was 1994, on up to him wind up catching his case, which was 1996. That was his the window where the 5-year window started.
Yep.
So, like I said, I purchased a car, so that was my reason for dealing with him. The only evidence that they had, because they never had me and him on a hand-to-hand, on no conversation, nothing talking about drugs, nothing about selling drugs to one another. They never had nothing on that.
Yeah, because that's before texting and all that stuff,
Yes.
right? Because now
you still had beepers, you still had
beepers,
your cell phones, you know what I'm saying, where they can see where, okay, somebody called this number to this number, but they don't have the phone conversation. But I'm like, the only reason why I called him, because I'm trying to get a clear title. Because I'm riding around with Indianapolis tags on, because it was a 1973 Caprice Classic Glass House convertible.
Oh, nice.
With, you know what I'm saying, red and white leather interior, with the sunset pearl flip-flop paint job. When the sun hit it, it looked like it's maroon, but it's white, and
that sounds
nice
sweet,
car.
bro.
Yeah, absolutely. So he couldn't give me a clear title. But anyway, when the police go to his house and they see those cars, it's like the whole investigation swerved around to me. So at this particular time, I'm ICCA from getting shot by the police. So how they trick me, or me not being knowledgeable of the law, is with the feds, for you to qualify as to be sentenced to a life sentence, you had to have a prior drug offense, 3 prior drug offenses, which is 3 strikes, or you can have 2 prior drug offenses and a crime of violence, which is 3 strikes, or you can have 3 crimes of violence, and that's 3 strikes. But what I had was, when the police shot me and we shooting down the police helicopter, those are 2 crimes of violence. Then with this conspiracy, made it a drug. So that made me fall under the 3 strikes. So again, I'm looking at it when the police shot me, that I was innocent. They shot me when I was on the ground. I was on the ground when they shot me. Yes. And I was gonna fight it, but I'm looking at the deal, because they like, okay, with your probation that you here on the violation for, along with this case that you got for getting shot by the police, what we'll do, we'll run that into the case that you are already doing, to where only thing you're gonna do for getting shot by the police is 2 months. And we're gonna run it into the charge that you are already serving for violation of probation, which was shooting down the police helicopter, which was 4 years. You know what I'm saying? So I, here in Nashville, 4 years is, you just had to do 30% of the time.
Oh, okay.
You don't have to do all of it. And then I played out the 2 years for getting shot by the police, which the most you would have to do, I think, is, it was 4 months, 18 days. That's all you do, and they keep you out of jail on a 2-year sentence. That's what it used to be here. 4 months and 18 days. After you do 4 months and 18 days,
you're gone. You're done.
You're automatically gone. So me seeing that, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna jump on the 2 years since they running into the 4.
Right.
So after I finished this, the year, I got both of them out the way. I don't have to worry about this no more. But me not knowing that these are 2 violent offenses, which is 2 violent felonies. And these 2 violent felonies is going, although one of them was for 4 years and one of them was for 2 years. it still made it to where they was able to give me a life sentence, which that's what they did when I went to trial and got found guilty on 2 counts out of 3 in 1997, and they sentenced me to life in federal prison.
What's that like when you're sitting there and you hear you're going to prison for life? I mean, that's got to be just surreal, right?
Absolutely.
Like I couldn't even fathom. I couldn't fathom a year,
Yes.
let alone someone sitting there going, you will never step outside this, this prison again.
Yes, and keep in mind, I was 24 years old. At 24, hearing the judge tell me when he rendered his sentence, he said, I don't feel that you need to be in society any longer. But then this same judge, 20 years later, said, told the prosecutor, I don't care what type of argument you're gonna bring against Mr. Turnley, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna give him some justice today, 20 years later. Went from saying he don't feel like I need to be in society to I'm finna give him some justice today. I don't care what you say.
Yeah, that has to be also extremely surreal when you hear that maybe you're going to be getting out. What was your time like? I know, shout out John Sanders, aka Jay, for linking us up. We had talked a lot about his experience in jail. He told me some pretty ridiculous stories and stuff like that. What was your experience overall like? And you guys were in Memphis together, is what you said, right?
Yes.
So what was your experience like in that particular prison?
Well, in Memphis, because I went to several prisons.
I want to hear it all. Yeah.
Yes,
So yeah.
yes. The first prison I went to was USP Beaumont, which was the worst prison in America. They called it Bloody Beaumont. And this prison right here, I was like number 448 on the compound. They had just opened, and they were shipping a lot of people from various United States prisons to open it up, which it had just been a riot in Lewisburg between the Aryan Nation and the Muslims, or the Muslim blacks, where the Aryan Nation killed a Muslim in Lewisburg and triggered off a deadly riot, you know what I'm saying, between blacks and whites, which most of those guys, most of the blacks, they shipped them from Lewisburg to Beaumont. So you had that, you know what I'm saying, energy coming down there along with people from Leavenworth, also Lompoc, California, and Atlanta, USP. So just being down there around all these people, and then being on a plane, flying on Con-Air, it just reminded me of, images, of a slave ship, where the people, are chained to one another, and you up under, the bottom of the ship, and you just waiting to be fed, or waiting to receive water. It's the same way when you coming through Oklahoma City at the airport. You literally go from the ramp, the airlift, right into the prison.
I heard. So that's what Jay had told me. He goes, you never hit the ground.
You never hit the ground. You go when the plane door open, you walk right off.